Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Today I want to show you how to do some pattern development in Gravit Designer. So in order to do patterns, you have to know what patterns are. And patterns are not just the same thing, just thrown down on the paper. For example, there are two principles of design. One is called pattern and the other one is called rhythm, and they're similar, but they're not the same. Let's say that I had a whole bunch of wooden rulers, okay, 12-inch wooden rulers, and I dropped them down on the floor. Now, those wooden rulers are exactly the same and they're repeated, but when I drop them on the floor, of course, they drop every which way. They don't, drop in any ordered fashion. They bounce and they move. And so when you look there down at the floor, those rulers are headed in all different directions. That's in the visual arts, that's called rhythm. And it's just the repetition of a design element. But if we wanted to make that a pattern, remember I dropped them on the floor. If I took each one of those rulers and I carefully lined them up with all of the lines between the tiles on the floor, one after another, and then I made sure all the tops were even, suddenly that becomes a measured repetition of a design element, and that is called a pattern. So the difference is rhythm is just the same thing. So, it could be in your painting, you could have a lot of white in your painting in different parts. But that's not a pattern. That is rhythm because it helps move the eye through your painting. But a pattern is a measured repetition. Think of like a checkerboard or polka dots or things like that. So I'm going to create a measured repetition here in Gravit Designer. And we're lucky in that Gravit Designer offers a tool that will help you with that. So today I'm going to do a US letter landscape. And there you can see that it's my 8.5 by 11 page. I'm going to use a tool I don't normally use. I'm going to use the star tool. I'm going to go ahead and make a star. And it automatically fills in gray, but I'm going to go ahead and do it in like a navy blue. Okay, I want a little darker than that, so I'm going to go right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is with my pointer tool, I'm going to select that object and I'm going to do Control C, which is copy on my keyboard, or I could do Edit Copy, either one, but see Control C. Okay, so Control C and then Control V is paste. Control V is paste. That's also here under paste. Paste, Control V. Okay, now I've pasted it once. So I'm going to do it again, Control V again. And it pastes, you'll notice it pastes it right on top of that first shape. Okay. So now I've got these 5 stars. Now I'm going to highlight all of them with my pointer tool. And I'm going to go up here to Modify, Align. So the first thing that I'm going to do is align the tops of them so that they're all even at the top. And then the next thing I'm going to do is Modify, Align, Distribute horizontally. And so what that's going to do, before I do it, okay, this is endpoint 1 and this is endpoint 2, or this is endpoint 1 and this is endpoint 2. And what it's going to do is it's going to figure, okay, here's one endpoint, here's the other endpoint, and it's going to distribute these evenly between those 2 points. So I'm going to go to Modify, Align, Distribute horizontally. And it has now made those all equally distant from each other. Now I'm going to highlight all of these, just like this, and I'm going to go to Modify, Group Selection. So now they're taken as one. So you can see that I can just move them. Okay. Now I'm going to copy and paste again. That was Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. And now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make this one where I want it to be. I'm going to make this one where I want it to be as far as from the edge of the paper. I'm going to highlight all of these. Modify, Align. We're going to align the left edge so that they're all even now. Now I'm going to do Modify, Align, Distribute vertically. And now you can see that I've got a well-distributed pattern. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and group that one. So I'm going to go to Modify, Group Selection. Now I've got them all grouped. Now here's where it's going to get fun. I'm going to now get a different shape. I'm going to get this rectangle. And I'm going to make that. I bet you can already figure out what I'm going to do, right? Okay, so now I'm going to copy that and paste it. Copy, paste. Copy, paste. You know what? I don't like that. I want those to be skinnier. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to get my rectangle tool. Just make a skinnier red stripe. Okay. Now, copy, paste. Copy, paste. Copy, paste. And I'm going to go through that process again. I'm going to select each one of these rectangles. Now, I'm holding Shift so that I can select each one of these rectangles. I'm going to go to Modify, Align, Align Left, then Modify, Align, Distribute Vertically. And now I've got all of that going on. So watch what I do now. I'm going to select everything. Do you remember this tool? The Modify, Create Compound Shape. I'm going to go over here and do Difference. Oop, there's one of them didn't. There's the one that got away. Look at that guy. Let's see if we can get him involved. So I selected him and I selected the shape, and we're going to do it again. Modify. I'm sorry. Create compound shape. Difference. I guess it's because it's grouped that it's doing that. So I can, of course, ungroup these. Let me just get my pointer tool. I'm holding Shift right now, and I'm getting them all. Well, look, I've created a design problem for myself that is going to take me a little while to solve, which you don't have to hang around for. Let's just see if I do it real quick this way. No, I'm not there yet. But anyway, so that little thing went wrong, but you can see with the rest of it how that worked. I really like working with these tools because it can create some interesting stuff that you don't necessarily expect. And you can play around and create these interesting patterns. And this is a combination, again, of two patterns. So let me just really quickly show you that again. Not the whole thing, but just, okay, ready? So star, copy it and paste it, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V, or edit, copy. Oh, Control C, Control V seems to be working better. I'm not sure why it would do that. But anyway, so now I'm going to highlight all of these. I'm going to go to Modify, Align, and the first thing I'm going to do is align the tops, and then Modify, Align, Distribute horizontally. And now I can do Modify, Group Selection. And so now that's a group. Okay. And I can select that, and I can even do things, all kinds of things with create copying and pasting. And now I've got another one, and copy and paste, copy, paste, Control C, Control V, highlight all of them, modify, align, align left, modify, align, align, distribute vertically. And now you can see I've got my pattern going on. So that is one way to create a pattern using the modify menu and multiples of the same object. And so what I'd like you to do today is to create your own pattern. You can't use stars. You can't use things that I've used. You have to create your own thing. And I'd like you to limit your colors to no more than 3. So the background, if the background is white, that's one of your colors. Anyway, folks, thanks for watching.